The Business by Peter Stimson and Alastair Harrison. The third edition of this book is available in market. You can have it, the paperback edition as well. It's easily available. So how we are going to cover this course? First, we'll start up with the first unit of this course book, which is the business and its environment. Then we move on to the people in organizations. The third unit is the marketing. The fourth one is operations and project management. The fourth one is operations and project management. The fifth one is finance and accounting. Before going on to the actual coursework, we'll first have a small discussion of the paper patterns and how we are going to tackle those papers. So in AS, my students, you are going to have two papers, which are the paper 1, which consists of essay and short questions. The paper has two sections. The first section consists of the short questions. Here you have 4 compulsory questions of 5 marks each. There may be parts in the question A, B, but the maximum marks for any question are 5. So you are going to have 20 marks for this section 1. And in the section 2, you are having 3 questions. And out of these 3 questions, you are required to attempt only 1 question. And naturally, this question is of 20 marks. So the total marks of these 2 parts become equal to 40. And in overall grading of A levels, the percentage of this is only 20%. Means out of 100%, this paper accounts for only 20% of the overall grades. Now coming on to the paper 2. The paper 2 is of data responses. Data responses means you are going to have 2 small case studies in paper 2, and you have to take up all those 2 case studies. There are no choice in this paper. The total marks of this paper is 60. It means the 2 case studies each is going to give you a credit of 30 marks. Total marks becomes 60. The percentage in the overall grading of A levels of this paper is 30%. So 20% of the paper 1 and 30% of the paper 2. So rest, the 50% left is for your paper 3, which is your A2 paper. So how we are going to take up this sessions? You are going to have worksheets after each lecture, which you are required to solve within the given time, whichever is given to you, and share the solved worksheet with me. The email will be there on each worksheet, at which you can share your solution solved works. Now, what is the purpose of this worksheet? The purpose of these worksheets is to help you understand the lesson better, to make you aware of the different types of questions which you are going to tackle. These worksheets may be a mix of something, like there may be short question answers, there may be true false, there may be multiple choice questions, there may be fill in the blanks questions. It depends upon the nature and the type of the topic which you are going to cover. And this makes you practice a lot. Naturally, we are going to have short questions and essay type questions as well, because these are the type of questions which are going to be covered for the examinations. Now, some tips for solving the papers, which are very important before moving on to the actual lectures. You should make sure that you read the instructions given on the paper very carefully and follow those instructions in true letter and spirit. It is very necessary. Then if you find a question a bit difficult, you can leave the question along with the space of that question for later on. You should move on to the next question, which you find a bit easy to tackle. And remember, you need not to answer the questions in the order given in the question paper. You can use your order as per the comfort of yourself. But remember, you must be giving the number of the question as given in the question paper. So here in the paper 1, you can follow the order of the questions as you require. But remember, this order or this point is not applicable for paper 2 and 3, because at times in paper 2 and paper 3, the papers, the questions are given in conjunction with each other. So for example, for answering question number 3, you must have to answer question number 2. If you don't answer the question number 2, you can't be attempting the question number 3. So in paper 2 and paper 3, you have to follow the order, but this is not applicable to paper 1. Okay, then if we consider the timing of the papers, in the paper 1, as we said that there are 2 sections. So remember, you should not be spending more than 30 minutes for section 1, because the section 2 is essay type and it's a bit lengthy section. You have to have more time for this section 2. The total time of paper 1 is 1 hour 15 minutes. So you must be allocating the time accordingly, 30 minutes for your section 1 and the remaining time for the section 2. Coming on to the paper 2, the timing for this paper 2 is 1 hour 30 minutes or the 90 minutes. So you can easily divide the timing for the 2 case studies, like you can have a maximum of 40 minutes for each case study. Why the 10 minutes are for the reading purpose? Because you have to read the instructions, you have to read the case studies, the questions as well. And in the end, you are required to go through the paper, overall paper as well before handing over to the examiner. Generally speaking, what could be the tips, general tips for your examination? What is the aim of the examiner? First, you have to consider what is the aim. The aim of the examiner is to check your business studies knowledge, your ability to understand the questions, your ability to answer the questions. They don't want to trick the students at all. Another view of the examiner is to give you marks. They want to give you marks. They like to have something written so that they can mark you accordingly. So you should be allocating the time as we discussed so that you can easily tackle your sections in your 2 papers. And very importantly is you must read your paper very well before going to start your answering the questions. You must be understanding the requirements of the examiner. You must be understanding the case studies. At times, you need to use the formulas and the diagrams in the examinations as well. And use of common sense and use of local knowledge is very much required. If you think that examiners are not aware of the local business environment of your country, it is wrong. They are very much aware of the local business environment as well, and you can use your local knowledge and your common sense for answering the questions as well. So you should read and analyze each question carefully. There, you may be having some words like action words or the subject or the context. Action words are where you have like state, explain, analyze, and discuss. These are the action words where you want to take some action, some analysis, some discussion. Subject words or phrases are there as like marketing strategy or ethical issues. So you have to use these subject words or your knowledge uh, as given in the syllabus or as we discussed during the course of uh, this classes. So you use your knowledge or your syllabus accordingly. And context. Some questions do have some context, such as food retailing. Then you should be considering all the parameters of the retailing business. And then you answer the given question in the given context and avoid answering in the general terms. You should be specific as given in the context. Remember, you should be specific. You should not be general at all. Okay. Moreover, if we move on, you should read the material very carefully once or twice, and you should be carefully noting that what type of business is it, what are its main product or services, who are its main stakeholders, what constraints are likely be there to influence the business, and who are the main issues creator and what are the main issues being faced for the business. This is very much applicable for your paper 2, where you are going to have some case studies, and in that context these points are very much necessary to consider before going on to answering the questions. So I hope you must have a good idea, and what we'll do, we'll after finishing all your coursework, what we'll be doing, we'll be having access to lots of past papers and practice those papers, and these papers will give you a hand-on experience for tackling the papers, for attempting the papers, and how to write a typical answer which is going to get you good marks. This is how we'll travel through this course along with the time and along with you people. I hope this must have a good understanding of your coursework and your papers. Today we are going to end up over here. If you have any questions regarding your coursework, regarding your papers, regarding your syllabus, anything, you can ask me now. Thank you. Right, dear students, any question, please? If you don't, yeah. Yeah, Ahmed. Any question? It means you have understood your course and your paper requirements and what is required of you during this course of studies? Everything is clear? No question?
Yes, sir, everything is clear.
Very nice. Okay, if you don't have any question, then we'll end up this meeting today and we'll meet up in our next class on Wednesday, and we'll start the course with the unit number 1. Inshallah. Okay. Have a good day. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.
Okay, bro.